What do you class your type of music as? Like, what kind of music do you play?
I suppose it's quite poppy, sort of indie, alternative. Indie alternative pop, I suppose. It's hard to explain, but whenever anybody asks you that sort of question, it's quite hard to answer,
Yeah.
you know. It's better for somebody else to answer it, I think.
What kind of bands inspire your music?
Lots of different bands, I mean, over the years, like, I've loved, I do love Sting. Like, more recently, I like people like Katy Perry and Jessie J.
So it's kind of pop inspired as well.
Yeah, definitely, but like, aside from that, I love Jeff Buckley, you know, I love Incubus.
Yeah.
Bands from the 90s, like Matchbox 20 and that.
Who would you say started the indie kind of music genre? Do you think it's Oasis or Arctic Monkeys or people like that?
It's nice.
Would you class Oasis as indie?
Yeah, I definitely. I think when I was a kid, like, they were sort of like the first sort of band of that type, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably Oasis.
Do you think in indie style music there's a stereotype?
Probably, yeah. I don't think we fit into it, like. I think we've got a little bit of it. Like, the stereotype would probably be like the image, you know, the skinny jeans, the sort of, like, musicians who can't really play the instruments, like, just hammering away at a few chords.
Yeah.
Guitars, primarily guitars, you know what I mean?
Do you like the way the music industry is at the moment?
I do and I don't. Like, it's a shame that, like, obviously CDs don't sell and stuff, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just bits.
What would you change about it if you could change anything?
That really, because for us as a young band who are trying to make a living out of it, records don't sell, but obviously, I suppose, aside from that, what's come is that, like, gigs sell big now, you know what I mean? So that's good, like, but.
I hear you've just been signed. Whenabouts was it that you got signed?
Oh,
have you not?
signed,
Is that what Tasha said?
Yeah.
It's great when rumours like that go about, though. I want to find out who started that one off. So actually, if anybody asks, we have been signed.
You have been signed, right?
Sound.
By an imaginary music company.
Imagine.
We've
got like a management company who look after us, yeah.
Which management company?
They're called the Animal Farm.
Animal Farm.
Based
Do you know if
in
they
London.
manage any other kind of bands? Or?
They've got a few bands on the like roster, but all from down south. They've done a few years back. They've done work with a band called One Night Only.
One Night Only.
Just for the night. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
But
Started singing it.
but apart from that, I don't think they've worked with many big acts that you know, like. But they've been fantastic with us. A couple of Finnish guys, and they're just dead patient, and they're like trying to build us a sort of a career, really, you know, and allowing us to take with time and write the music that we want to write. You know, they're not pushing us to be anything we're not.
Would you say they manage indie kind of bands as well, like?
Yeah, man, definitely.
Yeah.
There's a band, because we play in Soho on Saturday night, tomorrow night, and it's a gig they've put on, and the one of the artists that's playing with us, Woman Eve called, and she's more like Kylie Minogue.
Yeah.
Which sold it for me in the first place. When we first went to go and record with them, I heard some of the indie bands and I was like, oh, it's alright, it's not bad. When I heard Woman Eve, it's this Kylie Minogue sort of thing. Like kind of like the Ting Tings is her and this bald geezer who plays the drums, I think. And then, but just that song sound very much like Kylie, I thought. And that kind of sold it for me, so I'm looking forward to hearing them tomorrow night.
It's just a random question. What do you kind of think about women in music, like the role of women influencing and stuff?
Older women.
Just women, like in
Women.
general, in music.
It's good, man. I mean, a lot of women have inspired me, you know, like Annie Lennox, Alanis Morissette.
Do you think that women, male or more, like men are more popular in kinds of indie music and stuff like that? Or would you say it's getting just as...
It's a man's world, isn't it? You know what I mean? But the thing is, I don't know, it's hard to say really. It is seem to be more men really, but I mean, we had a girl before Athletes in Paris. We had a band called Jangalabra. Me, Joachim the guitarist, and Chris the bassist. And there was a girl singing the songs some of the songs that I sing now. It's like I write them. She was singing them, but it was an absolute nightmare, man. She was just a pain in my arse.
Yeah.
I mean,
So she was more kind of a diva kind of thing.
oh, but like she couldn't back it up. like she was a diva with her attitude. She thought she was like, she was owed some sort of attention and gratitude, but she didn't back it up with amazing performances or like.
So she given bog standard performances and
you know what I mean, and like she didn't seem to be prepared to pay her dues. You know what I mean, which is what you got to do when you're starting at the bottom the way we have. You got to graft, man.
I know you've not been signed yet, but do you have any tips for unsigned bands that are like trying to get signed? I know you probably are as well. But
Yeah.
like
Tips.
what are you trying to do basically? Get yourself noticed.
Well, the internet's really important, which is not something in our band I deal with. Like the lads take care of that, but just I don't know, it's hard. Like I should have planned this sort of thing. Tips.
Why have you called your band Athletes in Paris?
My dad had a band in the 80s called Athletes in Paris, so my dad's a musician, so we just kind of stole it off him.
You just like the name?
I did. I thought, well, we all did. We thought it was quite contemporary and.
It hasn't been made big, so you make it
No,
big.
yeah, we wanted to stay away from the something names. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the.
And it just had to hit a chord really, and it did. Like, and we all thought, oh, that's it, man. It's not easy thinking of a name, you know.
Yeah.
Really hard work, like.
Do you think it's harder now for bands to stand out from the stereotype?
It's always been hard, really, but I mean, like, you could get really deep with this sort of question, like, because I mean, music, sometimes when I listen to music, I just think, God, that's so been done before, you know what I mean? But the further we'll get into, like the past 40 or 50 years, the more time will go on, the more that's going to be more apparent, you know what I mean? Because, like, popular music, like, as we know, it's only been developing for the past 40, 50 years, which is quite a long time, really. Beatles and people in the 70s, like Earth, Wind and Fire, then like Police, U2, then the 90s, Nirvana, Oasis. And they've all, well, especially recently, they've been using the same sort of chords to write all the same sort of songs. I mean, if you listen to something by Katy Perry, she's using songs that Oasis used, songs that the Police use, chords that the Police use, sorry. So it's hard to get away from it, to be original and to get away from the stereotype. I don't know what it is. I think it's got to be sentiment. It's got to be in the essence of the music. It's not something that like you can teach, really.
Do you think the band have its own unique style, both in like style and sound?
Fairly, I think. I mean, maybe it's not to my ears, but I've been told it a lot. Like, I've been told, you sound very fresh, and like it's not something that I could compare you to many other acts, stuff like that. But to my ears, I just think, it's just poppy sort of rock, really.
I know I've asked a similar kind of question, but who do you compare the band's sound to? And do you think your music is unique?
Well, like, say if we've got a song called, there's different ones for each song, really, because, I mean, say for one of the songs out of the Minute Heartbeat, I think that's quite, like, Katy Perry influenced, but then something like Just Decline would be more like, sort of, like a Latin-induced sort of, like, maybe it's even, what's her name? Gloria Estefan. She's very cool, like, you know what I mean? Not that I listen to her either, but like, obviously over the years you hear tracks and stuff and some things stand out and then you end up like using them, you know. I don't know really, it's hard to say. I mean, Sting's always been a big influence of mine, like, being a northern guy as well.
Mm-hmm. And last question, where do you hope to see yourself in 5 to 10 years? With the band, obviously.
I just like pretty
Famous.
rich as hell. Stuffing pork pies and beef burgers down my neck. Not having to care about my image because we've made it.
Right, thank you very much.
No problem whatsoever.